Well, welcome to the Startup Espresso. I'm Hall T. Martin, the host of the show, where we talk about raising funding for your startup and the time it takes to have an espresso. I hope you enjoy this episode. Hello, this is Hall T. Martin with the Startup Funding Espresso, your daily shot of startup funding and investing. Impact startups provide not only a product or service, but also a social or environmental impact. Impact startups need to know how to measure their impact in addition to their financial return. Here are some ways to measure it. The startup could measure the impact for each unit sold. This works well when the impact is the same for each customer. An example would be a bottleless solution for water distribution. The startup could measure the impact based on a sample and then extrapolate across the entire business. This works well when the impact is not exactly the same for each customer. An example would be the graduation rate of a student through an education program. The startup could look at comparable solutions with the stated impact and adopt those metrics. An example would be the reduction in carbon emissions based on reduced fuel usage. The startup could apply that metric to their own user base. Impact investors will look for impact metrics from the startup, so it's important to measure and track it. Thank you for joining us for the Startup Funding Espresso, where we help startups and investors connect for funding. Let's go start up something today. Hall T. Martin is the director of Investor Connect, which is a 501c3 nonprofit dedicated to the education of investors for early-stage funding. All opinions expressed by Hall and podcast guests are solely their own opinions and do not reflect the opinion of Investor Connect. This podcast is for informational purposes only and should not be relied upon as a basis for investment decisions.